Hey friends, in this week's video, I'm going to be showing you the 5 things that you need to know in order to start becoming the woman of your dreams. Hi friends, it's your girl Caradaze and welcome to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so excited to present this video to you guys today. If you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and go down and like the video. Or you can dislike it if you don't like it, but just let me know why in the comments below. As you can tell by the title of the video, it is called You Can Be the Woman of Your Dreams, and I wanted to make this video because for the longest time I was struggling with becoming the woman that I wanted to be in this world. I struggled with being just happy within my own skin and where I was in life, and I assume that if you are watching this video, you might relate to one or many of those things that I just mentioned. And if you do, I really hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you get a lot out of it. The way I do this video is going to be a little bit more fun, a little bit different. That's the main reason why I decided to film this in my bedroom, because I always want our talks to be very cozy, comfortable, and an enjoyable experience for me and you. Ooh, I'm ready. I hope you are. So let's get into the 5 things you need to know in order to become the woman of your dreams. To become the woman of your dreams, you first must tackle the art of fear. I wrote down a bunch of notes as to what fear means to me, how it has impacted my life, and so if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my journal. Fear can be negative in a number of ways. It can be fear of loneliness. It can be fear of failure, which is a big one that a lot of people struggle with. It can be fear of the unknown, fear of anything. But something that I read a long time ago said that when Rihanna started her makeup beauty line, Fenty, she could have been like, oh, there's MAC, there's Mary Kay, there's Kylie Jenner's, there's like all these other makeup lines. Like, the makeup industry is so oversaturated. Why would I start my own makeup line? I'm using this metaphor because it doesn't matter what you're trying to do in this world, whether it's makeup, whether it's YouTube, whether it's fashion, whether it's getting a certain job, whether it's raising a family, whatever you want to do to become the woman of your dreams, what you have to do first is stop looking at everyone else and feeling like you're not gonna make it being in this relationship or not being in this relationship because you're afraid of being alone or you're afraid of commitment. A lot of fear is what is holding you back from becoming the best version of yourself. And I say this from personal experience. For the longest time, I struggled with fear of failure. It prevented me from doing a lot of things like YouTube, from taking a lot of things serious like my social media, like my lip gloss business, like a lot of different things, because I was such a perfectionist and I felt like if what I was making wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be, I could not do it. I could not start. I didn't want to go for it because I didn't want to do it, start, and then fail and then be disappointed, and then everybody was looking at me, and then I just, you know, that it just was like a rolling dice of, oh, this happens and this happens and this happens, and I would literally dig myself into a mind hole of, oh, these are all the reasons why I shouldn't do this or shouldn't go for this or whatever the case may be. And I realized that I was in this constant state of unhappiness, in this constant state of feeling like I'm not where I'm supposed to be, because I wasn't putting myself out there, because I wasn't allowing myself to go for what I wanted to go for. Yes, the truth is, you never know what's gonna happen, and that does fall into the fear of the unknown. You don't know if you're gonna go for what you're trying to go for and you fall flat on your face. You don't know if you're gonna go for what you're trying to go for and it does really great and it goes exactly the way you want it. You just don't know. But the truth is, you'll never get where you want to go if you don't at least try. And that's something that I had to realize for myself. You have to sometimes fail in order to achieve, but if you fear failure, you can never reach achievement. But whenever you are having these thoughts of fear, the best way to positively combat them are thinking of, well, why am I saying that? So for example, if I think, oh, I want to start a small business, I want to make candles, and then I think, wait, there's a bunch of candles, like that's so oversaturated, like I'm not gonna be successful in that, I'm not gonna do it. Whatever the thing is that you're trying to go for, even if it's oversaturated, even if you feel like you may not make it, instead of saying, no, why me? You need to start switching your mindset to start thinking, well, why not me? And I noticed that when I stopped asking, well, why me? Why would I be chosen for this? Why would I get this? Why would I be successful in this? And started saying, well, why wouldn't I be chosen for this? Well, why wouldn't I be successful in this? Why not me? I realized that that simple change in my mindset positively combated those negative thoughts and gave me more room in my life to be able to go after what I want and be able to make room for the woman that I have always dreamt of being. To end this off, I want to leave you guys with a quote that I've been saying for a long time. If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. The next thing we're going to talk about is your mindset. Everything in your life starts right here in your mind. And something big that I've been telling myself in this past year where I've noticed the biggest changes in my life is in order to change my life, I have to change my mind. Vice versa. I have to change my mind to change my life. Somebody once said that the definition of a sociopath is somebody who keeps doing the same thing over and over expecting a different outcome. I realized that all these things I was doing at the time in order to hypothetically become the woman of my dreams, I thought I was working out maybe like once a week. I wasn't eating that great, wasn't really taking care of myself in the way that I knew I wanted to take care of myself. And then I wasn't seeing the changes I wanted to see on my body internally. I was still filled with stress and anxiety, and I didn't know why, and I was doing the same old habits that I've always been doing, maybe tweaking like one or two things, but barely even at that, and not even being consistent with it. And I would ask myself, well, why am I not the woman I want to be? Why am I not where I want to be at? And the truth is, I had to have a real conversation with myself and realize that in order for me to get to where I want to be, I have to make changes, because what I'm doing right now is not going to get me anywhere. I want you to ask yourself right now, what can you do in your life that you know you're not getting what you need out of it, but you haven't changed it? What can you do right now to change those habits and better them in order to get to where you want to be? It's not going to be easy. Let's start there. But it'll be worth it if it gets you to where you want to be in the end. My mindset has been the biggest source of growth I've had in the past 5 years, because the girl who I was when I started YouTube is not the same girl I am right now. I was not consistent. I didn't have a niche. I didn't know where I was really going with it, or a direction or a mission. And now, in the past year, I've noticed a complete change on my channel because I finally know my niche. I finally know what I want to do on this channel. I want to motivate, I want to cause enjoyment, and I want to inspire. When I finally realized my purpose, that's when it all started to change. When you start to become intentional with what you're doing in your life, you'll notice a huge change, no matter what it is that you're trying to do or achieve. Be intentional with it. Is it my insecurities? Is it me feeling like I'm not good enough? Where do those stem from? Why do I feel the way I do? And how can I actively make an effort to stop feeling this way? And let me let you in on a little secret. In order to change your mind, that's not gonna happen in one day, in 1 year. That is going to be an active decision every single day that you make in order to become the woman of your dreams. You have to constantly choose not to compare yourself to the next person. And that'll bring us into our next topic. Comparisons. The enemy of progress. Society today on social media can literally be the thief of joy if you don't approach it the right way. Personally, I think social media can be an amazing tool in order to garner an audience, in order to build something from the ground up. But just as it can be great and has tons of pros, it can have a lot of detrimental cons. I think one big thing a lot of people miss is that social media is only a compilation of people's positives. So when someone gets married, they post it on social media. When someone gets a new car, they post it on social media. They're 18 and they just bought a new house. Like, I'm 25 and I'm struggling in this apartment. I'm not doing enough. Social media can be so detrimental in that way because of those comparisons. You have to realize that you don't know what that person did to get to where they are. You don't know how much they struggled in order to start that business. You don't know what they had to do in order to buy that car, if they even bought it themselves or somebody else bought it, and you don't know how they were able to get in the situation that they got in. For example, you could look at your situation. Maybe you're living in an apartment and you just see someone who bought a house and you're like, wow, we're the same age. They just bought a house and I'm still struggling in this apartment. But they were able to have parents or grandparents or a trust fund or something given to them, and you weren't. But here you are sitting and comparing yourself to someone who you weren't even given the same set of circumstances. And then that's unfair to you, and you're only hurting yourself and your feelings for no reason. In order to properly combat these feelings and these comparisons, you have to first ask yourself, why are you having these comparisons? Is this something that you truly care about on the inside? Are you truly upset about this? Has it something that's always been bothering you? Or are you only upset, or you don't like it, or you're comparing it because of something you saw of somebody else's? That's something you need to sit down and ask yourself. And then you need to ask yourself, how can you combat these comparisons in a very realistic way right now? So maybe that'll mean you unfollow a couple people. That way when you go on social media, you're met by inspirational things that inspire you, things that don't give you anxiety or stress or feel like you're not doing enough. I realized that this is something that I needed to do in order to become the woman of my dreams. I had to limit the amount of time I was observing other people's lives and increase the amount of time I was living my own life. And that leads us into our next topic. Sis, you gotta know your lane. The biggest thing that I have discovered in this journey of self-discovery and becoming the best version of myself is that comparisons only come when you don't know who you are. And the truth is, that's okay. The best example of this is whenever I compare myself to other YouTubers, for example. That is something that I love, and it's something that I've been doing for a long time. So let's say I compare myself to this YouTuber. I'm pretty consistent with my uploads, as are they, but their channel is skyrocketing and mine's a little bit of a slower burn, and that's okay. But I start to compare myself like, oh, maybe I'm not doing enough as them, maybe I'm not advertising enough as them, maybe my content isn't as good as theirs. And then I have to realize, but wait, I'm making health, lifestyle, vlogs, and beauty content, and they're making a whole other type of content, and I'm here comparing myself to them. That's what I mean by not knowing your own lane. Even though we are on the same platform and are trying to do the same thing, we are not making the same content. We are not reaching the same audiences. We are not the same people. I ask you to pose the same question to you. Do you know what your lane is? What do you want to go into? Whether that is medical stuff, whether that's being an engineer, whether that's being a creator, maybe that's being a model, whatever it may be. Knowing your lane and knowing how you want to achieve something and knowing how you want to go for something is the best piece that you can give yourself, because even if someone is doing the same thing you want to do, maybe you want to model and someone else is trying to be a model as well. What type of model do you want to be? Because the truth is, no matter how similar you might think you are to someone, there is no other you in this world, and that is your power. Understand how you want to do it and just put your head down and go towards it. Doesn't matter what anybody else is doing around you, doesn't matter who else is going for a similar type of dream, they're not in your lane. So know your lane and stay in it and go and get that dream you want to get. And also, when you know your lane, you know exactly who you are, and nobody can change that, which accumulates to becoming the woman of your dreams. But before you know your lane, we all go through the period of comparison, and we all go through the period of not knowing exactly what we want. And honestly, that leads us into our fifth and final topic. Our fifth and final topic is to give yourself grace. I always aim to make videos that I would love to watch or would have loved to watch at some point in my youth. And all the topics touched on this video are things that I personally have or still struggle with and are constantly working to overcome in order to become the woman of my dreams. But one of the biggest things I had to learn when it comes to overcoming fear and changing my mindset and to stop comparing and to absolutely, undoubtedly know my lane and know who I am is that I had to learn to give myself some grace. It is nearly impossible in order for you to grow into the woman you want to be in a linear pattern. And a linear pattern is you overcome one thing and the next and the next and the next, and you just never backtrack, you never hit a rock in the road, you never hesitate or just have a down moment, because it's inevitable. It's inevitable that maybe sometimes you'll look on social media and you'll see something and it triggers maybe a comparison, or you do something and you get scared of going for something and it triggers a sense of fear that you thought you had already overcome. I realized that through all these things, it's okay to backtrack, because you have to be able to give yourself grace, and you have to be able to know that you are human, that you will backtrack. But as long as you keep on trudging forward, no matter how far you backtrack, no matter what rock you hit in the road, no matter what happens, as long as you continue to move forward and continue to try to become the best version of yourself, then you are doing it all right. Give yourself that grace, because you deserve it. You've made the first step. You're watching this video. If you don't know how to make the first step, if you're wondering where do I start to become the woman I want to be, my back's against the wall, I don't know what else to do, you did it. This is your first step, watching this video and getting these tips and just figure out a place on where to begin. You already started. You've already began. So just keep going. Don't give up on yourself, and don't give up on the woman that you have always been meant to be. Wow, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This was a lot of fun to make, and I liked that I made it a little bit more fun and interesting instead of just a stationary video, because y'all know, if you're a consistent subscriber, you know that is so not me. If you did enjoy this video and you want to see more videos like it, then go ahead and hit that red subscribe button down there, because I'm gonna make tons and tons of more videos on topics like these, on just how to uplift, motivate, and inspire you guys. And I hope that you guys can learn from my own personal experiences and just continue to go on and be the best versions of yourself. Comment down below anything that you got from this video, anything that you learned. I'd love to start a conversation with you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for coming.